There are a myriad of reasons why you should travel to Europe. Europe is full of beautiful places and historic landmarks, which are a must-see on any trip to the continent. Even though Europe is the smallest continent, but it attracts more than 50% of all the tourists in the world. For instance, 7 of the 10 most visited countries in the world are from Europe. It's easy to see why traveling to Europe is so popular. The cultural heritage provides a rich history, safety, and efficient infrastructure that makes it an enjoyable experience. Let's take a look at some of the most extraordinary places to visit in Europe. Number 25. Athens, a city that has been occupied since the 5th century BC, gave the world the idea of democracy and is the origination of Western development. A large number of the city's significant tourist spots can be found in the Old Town, especially around the Acropolis. The rundown incorporates the Sanctuary of Zeus, the Theater of Dionysus, where Sophocles' works were performed, and the Parthenon, which sits on the Acropolis. Number 24. Lisbon. Lisbon is situated on the Tagus River along the Atlantic coast. This area urged adventurers to cruise all over around the world in the 15th, 16th, and 17th century. Something you'll need to see is Belém Tower, a 16th century stronghold on the Tagus North Bank. You can likewise visit Lisbon Cathedral in Alfama, a neighborhood that traces all the way back to the Roman time and has been announced a UNESCO World Heritage Site. If you're searching for great views on Old Lisbon, head to St. George Castle that was based on a ridge by the Moors. Number 23. Gullfoss. You apparently don't have a clue about an enormous number of people who've been to Iceland. Nevertheless, it may help an excursion to visit the awesome Gullfoss Falls. Arranged in southern Iceland, Gullfoss is one of Iceland's top vacation spots. Every so often it almost appears ice sheet-like, perhaps since it is taken care of by a glacial mass. The falls begins not long after the Alfusar River makes an opposite turn and afterward falls down a 3-venture flight of stairs into a ravine that is 115 feet down. Number 22. Matterhorn. Mount Matterhorn is more than just a symbol of Switzerland. It's also among the highest points in Europe at over 14,000 feet tall. Egypt might have its pyramids, however, Mount Matterhorn has stood tall for more than 2,000 years. The mountain has 4 faces, all similarly rough. The mountain has been popular since the first ascent in 1865. This is on the grounds that, during late spring months, more than 150 people try to climb it every day. Habitually lazy people may be just as glad to stay below and gaze at the stars as they play hide and seek with the clouds. Number 21. Bay of Kotor. At the point when you're eager for amazing landscape, gaze upon Kotor Bay in southwestern Montenegro. This strait off the Adriatic is out and out beautiful, stitched in by mountains, with interesting towns sandwiched between the cliffs and the flawless blue water. A few, all-around protected middle-aged towns ring the inlet. Individuals make pilgrimages here, not exclusively to take in the view yet, in addition to visit the numerous Orthodox and Christian houses of worship spread among the towns. Number 20. Stonehenge. When you contemplate the determination of ancient civilization, you can't help but be amazed by Stonehenge. This particular monument was under construction for 3,000 years and was originally built as a burial site. The stone monoliths that measure up to 25 tons were dragged around 150 miles to Amesbury. There are only 13 that stand today, but it's not exactly clear how many originally existed. What is most intriguing about Stonehenge is why it was built, yet there are numerous theories about its utilization. Some people believe the stone circle was used for studying the stars before the Bronze Age, while others think that giants caused it to be built. Whatever your theory may be, Stonehenge remains an internationally beloved landmark. Number 19. Moscow. For very nearly 900 years, Moscow has been the capital of Russia. Taking everything into account, this old city offers a ton of real value for visitors. How about we start with the 15th century Red Square, since an extensive parcel of the city's basic attractions envelop it. A major landmark is the Kremlin, a previous post that houses galleries and the leader of the Russian League. Lenin's tomb sits in the square, while the notorious onion-domed St. Basil's House of Prayer, presently a gallery, is on one side. Number 18. Vienna. This captivating city, situated in the core of Europe, is an elite culture complex and makes certain to enchant any explorer. Vienna is the former seat of the Habsburg Empire, with numerous noteworthy majestic structures and castles, which convey its previous magnificence and give a feeling of the dynasty's enormous power. This stuns nobody as it's home to musical geniuses like Beethoven, Mozart, and Haydn. Vienna is at present the world's most livable city. It's hard not to go gaga over this fantasy city, lifted directly from the pages of a fairy tale. Number 17. Budapest. Budapest was already established when it was taken over by the Hungarians in the 9th century. A few hundred years later, it became Hungary's capital and largest city. But Budapest has been ruled by other countries throughout its history. The Mongols and Ottomans, among others, have also had control of the city for a period of time. Budapest is one of the most beautiful cities in Europe and home to the Museum of Fine Arts, which has a collection of more than 100,000 works. The Old Town is also worth visiting with its many museums, churches, palaces, and parliament buildings. Number 16. Pleat-Feetsaw Lakes. During the last ice age, water from melting glaciers carved out this series of 16 lakes. The lakes are connected by a series of waterfalls, which create natural mirrors and reflections. The lakes are so pretty that Croatia established a national park around them in 1949. More than 1 million visitors visit the park every year to see its unique beauty. The lakes are located in the mountains and connected by waterfalls. The lakes are divided into two sections, lower and upper, because of a difference in elevation. The best way to see the lakes is on foot because there are many trails through the lush forests that connect the lakes. Number 15. Alhambra. The Alhambra is one of the extraordinary marvels of Spain. It's a perfect royal residence fortification complex that can be found in Granada in southern Spain's Andalusia region. However, this overwhelming complex began as a little fortress in the late 10th century. It was based on the remnants of a previous Roman fort. Taken over by Christian rulers, it is the site where Columbus stretched the go beyond to find the New World. The mixing of structural styles over the course of the hundreds of years is dazzling. You'll track down incredible art and majestic gardens all through. Number 14. London. London was founded in 43 AD, with the strategic position of the Thames River being a major factor. It offers sightseeing tours right on the water, so you can explore some of the popular city sites. London is over 2,000 years old and is the birthplace of the Roman Empire. The Romans called it Londinium. It has more green spaces than any other major city, and it's really easy to escape the hustle and bustle of the concrete jungle. You can always find a garden or park nearby. London is a vibrant city that offers virtually non-stop cultural activities and experiences. You can attend concerts, comedy shows, or head to an art gallery the next town over anytime you please. It's not hard to find spectacular street art either. Number 13. Florence. It's impossible to separate Florence from its art. For centuries, it has been home to many well-known painters and sculptors, such as Michelangelo, Botticelli, and Da Vinci. It's also worth taking the trip to visit the Galleria dell'Accademia, where you can see Michelangelo's David. One of Florence's most iconic attractions is its cathedral, the Duomo. This red dome can be seen from any roof in the city and towers over all of its other landmarks. There are a number of romantic places in Florence, and luckily for you, you will not run out of options. Take a stroll across the Arno River at sunset to watch the beautiful view from Ponte Vecchio, or go to one of the many rooftop bars to admire Duomo from above. Number 12. Venice. Venice is for heartfelt individuals who love drifting through the Grand Canal with a gondolier singing Italian love tunes. This is, taking everything into account, the city that sent Marco Polo off on his trip to China. Start your exploration of Venice at San Marco Square, the city's most famous square. Here you'll track down the Doge Palace, the seat of Venetian government, and St. and Prince Basilica, the fundamental church in Venice with staggering views from atop the towers. Venice, similarly, is well known for its scaffolds across the canals. Number 11. Monte Carlo. Monaco is a small country bordered with France on one side and the Mediterranean Sea on the other. In order to tour this small country, you can enter from either side. In Monacoville, you will find many historic royal residences, which include Le Rocher. It is a desirable tourist destination for people that enjoy being entertained. If you're looking for glitz and glamour, Monaco is the place to visit. Monaco's Mediterranean climate means that you can go any time of year and be confident the weather will be good. Monaco's casino is the iconic building in Monaco and a landmark on any list of landmarks for this European city. Number 10. Geranger Fjord. At the point when the mid-year fieriness of Europe gets you down, head to Norway with its cool landscape. Geranger Fjord is a 9.3-mile-long fjord with gem blue waters took care of by beautiful falling cascades. Go on a touring outing on a vehicle ferry through the fjord, passing towns on the shores. Pay special attention to the Seven Sisters and Sutter Cascades, so named on the grounds that legend says he's attempting to court the sisters. Additionally, search for bridal veil. When the light is correct, it seems as though a thin veil covering the stones. Number 9. Dubrovnik. As European urban cities go, Dubrovnik isn't exceptionally enormous, however, don't allow its size to deter you. This little gem, with under 43,000 individuals, is one of the most visited urban communities on the Mediterranean. Dubrovnik transports visitors back to when the Brest city was a significant sea power, instructing the third biggest naval force in the Mediterranean. As you meander the roads, you'll probably go over models of San Viejo, the city's supporter holy person whose life is praised each February. Number 8. Istanbul. Istanbul might be at the external edges of Europe, but most certainly worth a go-to place while you're voyaging abroad. Turkey's biggest city is an enrapturing place, loaded with affluent history, brilliant business sectors, furthermore mosques. Top sites incorporate the Bosporus that isolates Europe and Asia, the ecumenical Hagia Sophia that has been a Greek Orthodox Christian basilica, then, at that point, a royal mosque and presently a historical center, and the 15th century Topkapi Palace, moreover an exhibition hall today. Get in a little shopping at the Grand Bazaar that has been in activity beginning around 1461. Number 7. Prague. With a long history of war and destruction, Prague is viewed as perhaps the best spot to visit in Europe. Notwithstanding the annihilation brought about by World War II, Prague has an extremely lovely old town, which is worth in excess of a couple of hours of your time. Prague has numerous walker zones that make strolling around Prague a delight. Opposite the palace, the Jewish Quarter, and the Charles Bridge. Situated in New Town, Wenceslas Square is brimming with enthusiastic nightlife and entertainment. Number 6. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a delightful city characterized by winding canals lined with long, narrow houses. It is the city where Anne Frank kept her famous diary, so visit her house where she wrote it is a must. This Venice of the North is also a great art city, starting with the National Gallery, home to great European masterpieces, Rembrandt House, and the more modern Van Gogh Museum. After the tour, taste a Dutch beer at the Heineken Brewery and enjoy a sightseeing tour. Number 5. Neuschwanstein Castle. Fairy Tale Castle is a proper expression of Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria Alps. This 19th century romantic survival castle seems as though it was brought into the world of a fairy story. Some say that Neuschwanstein Castle was the inspiration for Disney's Sleeping Beauty. The palace was built as a retreat for Ludwig II, who was considered romantic. The medieval castle was made of brick, and then white limestone seen from a distance. Number 4. Paris. Tunes commend Paris in the springtime. However, any season is a happy opportunity to visit this riveting city on the River Seine. It's a city stacked to the edge with history, culture, extraordinary food, and high fashion. The notable Eiffel Tower is one destination you won't have any desire to miss. The Louvre houses one of the noteworthy art collections on the planet. Its incredible churches incorporate Sacred Heart and Notre Dame. With regards to extravagance, there's Versailles with its acclaimed Hall of Mirrors. Number 3. Santorini. at the point when it's an ideal opportunity to take a load off. Take yourself to Santorini, an island in the Aegean. Top tourism publications think about this as a great objective. When there, you can't help, however, concur. The island has picture postcard towns, an active volcano, and beautiful sunsets. Make certain to visit Fira, a town atop a cliff. You'll likewise need to test wines. For example, the treat wine Vincanto, just as the produce that is made better and more delectable due to the volcanic ash soil it grows in. Number 2. Barcelona. Established by the Romans, Barcelona today is a clamoring city on the Mediterranean Sea. As the capital of Catalonia, it is a force to be reckoned with in the area. It is maybe most popular for the surprising structures planned by the planner Antoni Gaudí. These milestone structures incorporate La Sagrada Familia, a congregation that has been under development. Starting around 1892, you could fabricate your whole visit around his structures. However, at that point you pass up other Barcelona delights. For example, La Rambla, a well-known pedestrian street in the central part of the city. Number 1. Rome. The ancient Romans set up stations as distant as Great Britain. They didn't disregard their home city, notwithstanding, when it came to building extraordinary landmarks. One must-see monument is the Colosseum, a field that could hold up to 80,000 individuals for fighter challenges. Probably the greatest draw is a small country inside the city, the Vatican City, with its noteworthy St. Peter's Basilica with art given by Michelangelo. Perhaps you'll get a brief look at the Pope, at his Wednesday crowds,